I'm Mel Barrett.
I'm Rebecca Lavoie.
And welcome to Something's Off, a true crime podcast where we ask ourselves on a daily basis, what the fuck is going on in the world? Did you bring the swear jar today?
Yeah, hold on. Hold on a second.
I feel like we're going to need it.
We might need it. Hold on. Let me just pick this up. How much do you think we need to put in here?
Oof.
40?
Like a good, yep.
All right.
Yes.
Swear jar.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Also, I wanted to say right off the top not told you this yet, but this morning, just like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Not Jessica McNeff. Sorry. Shannon Parker Havenhill.
Yeah.
Just tipped us $250.
Shannon. Oh, can I give a shout out to Jessica though?
Yes, please. Jessica McNeff also tipped us $25 and she said, "Happy holidays,
so
Mel.
That's
Thanks
amazing.
for all you do to make Something's Off," which is very, very sweet.
So I don't want to talk about what happened at the thing. We could talk about it next time. But I had my scary dentist appointment yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I will just, spoiler alert for the audience, it was in fact really awful. And I'm like really good at the dentist. I don't care. And I love my dentist. It's not the dentist's fault. But I walk in and I see a woman that I know. And I know her name is Jessica, but you know how like you know somebody, but you can't remember how you know them. And I was like, I feel like I know her because she's part of the Crime Writers on Fandom. I know her name's Jessica, and you know, I knew her. It wasn't like I said hi to her. I wasn't like I don't know you. I knew her, but it just took me a second to remember all the places where I had met her before. And it was Jessica McNeff, longtime fan of Crime Writers On, and she said to me, she turned to me and said, and this is how I knew immediately. I was like, oh, it's Jessica McNeff. She said. Without saying, I said, hi. And she said, I love Something's Off. I love Mel. She said, I was so heartbroken when the readathon was over. I was really missing it. But this has really filled that hard, that hole in my heart or whatever. And I love Jessica. She's so wonderful. And apparently we have the same dentist.
Apparently. And yeah, you texted me from the dentist and said, and it just like warmed my heart. It's so strange to me because I'm sure you get this all the time.
Not all the time.
But, well, I mean, that woman that did walk up to you in the airport and tell you to take the toilet paper off your shoe, that happened.
She wasn't a fan of my show.
Okay, can I just tell you that? So I cut together, like Riverside gives us those like magic moments or whatever, and that story was isolated, and so I uploaded it as a short. It's had the most hits of anything on our channel. I think it's over 10,000 hits at this point.
And it's not even like deeply funny. It was just funny in the moment. You know what I mean?
I think it's pretty great. I mean, it's funny because of what was going on in your mind until you realized what was going on.
Oh, that
in
I'm
your
so
life.
vain that I thought I looked great, and I thought that's why I thought everybody was looking at me because of my new jacket.
You're either a fan or you really like my coat.
Because it's all
you just have toilet paper on your shoe.
No, that's me like having the most main character energy I've ever had in my whole life in that moment where I'm like, everybody thinks they're the main character in their own movie, and some days more than others, like when you're having like a really good clothes day or whatever, you're like, this is the day. Like
this is the day.
I'm walking down the street, someone's gonna make a montage of me making this smoothie right now. It's like all good. That was that day. And so I have checked.
When you were a kid, did you ever have, because when the way that we grew up, we always heard these stories of people being like discovered at the mall and turning into a model.
Yeah.
Did you ever have that sense that like you were going to get discovered?
100%. I was in a play when I was, so I remember I did my ice skating lessons the other day. Like that sounds bougie. It's not. I grew up in the Freeport, Long Island, and we had this, and I think it's still there, this giant rec center and I was like my mom was single for a lot of my childhood and she got married when I was like in 7th grade. But, she would basically force us to do lessons there, be in plays every summer. She's like, you have to sign up for 3 things because I'm going to work every day and I will just be dropping you off at the rec center. So I was in this rec center play. I was in Snow White playing Snow White, which felt great at the moment. Was it Peter Pan year? I think it was the Peter Pan year. I was Peter Pan in the Peter Pan play. And the girl playing Wendy. Well, only because I could like sing in tune in 5th grade or whatever. It wasn't like I was not a good actor. I still don't. I'm still a terrible actor. I have no idea what to do with my hands.
But were you a better actor than Yuri Buchanan?
No one is a better actor.
Yeah, I know. He was really good.
The Emmy Award for Best
Chef
Live
kiss.
Reading of Dirty Text goes to
Yuri B.
Officer Yuri B. So what happened was this other girl in the play, Catherine, who I went to school with, an agent had come to see our stupid Rex Skinner play because her nephew or something
This
was
is
in
Waiting
it.
for Guffman.
And she approached Catherine and gave her card and said, "Come to my house and have a meeting with me."
It actually happened in real life.
And I was like, "Can I have a card too?"
She was like, no, I'm sorry. I only have one card.
She gave me one, but it didn't go anywhere because I was so awkward.
An agent came. Are you sure she was actually an agent and
No,
not a
she
pedophile?
was. She was.
Okay.
It was like there was no internet at the time, but like,
Right.
she definitely
Did
was
you
because my
call?
friend Catherine went and ended up being in a couple commercials. So,
Wow.
yeah,
It
not
actually
me.
happened.
Not me.
I really wanted it to happen. I was obsessed with New Kids on the Block, and I thought that I was Joe McIntyre because I kind of looked like him. I had the same haircut, and I had blue eyes, and I used to dress like him. So, and one time when I went to the mall, this group of girls thought I was Joe McIntyre because I was. Do you remember the hat that he used to wear? That had there was a hole in the top, and his like poofy little curly hair.
Yeah. It
So
wasn't a
used to wear
visor.
that.
For anyone who's thinking it's a visor, that's not
No,
what it
it was like a brimmed hat.
A brimmed hat,
Like
yeah.
and I used to wear it because I like had made it myself, and I used to wear it, and at the mall, this group of girls thought I was Joe McIntyre, and they squealed, and then I turned around and I had like boobs because I've had like C cups since I was like 8 years
Same.
old.
Makes you not
and
discoverable, by the way, having big bazongas when you're in 3rd grade.
I tell you the story now?
No, just finish this one. You thought you were.
Yeah.
They thought you were Joey
So,
McIntyre.
I thought I was Joey McIntyre, so I thought, and so I had a girl group that I was like the leader of. Like I would choreograph dance routines to all of like.
Please tell me there's video. Please tell me there's video.
It's on VHS, and someone in my family
Lordy,
has
there are tapes. Lordy,
there are tapes.
Because
I got hired. My group got hired. Can I just tell you the name of my group?
Mm-hmm.
It was called DANCE, and the acronym was Dream and Never Cease Eternity. I'm just gonna let that sit with you for a minute.
Never cease eternity?
Yeah. Hey, I was 12. Dream and Never Cease Eternity.
Never cease eternity.
Yeah.
Never cease,
12.
comma, eternity? Or never cease eternity?
It's an acronym.
I understand, but I'm just trying to wonder what the fuck it meant.
I didn't put a comma in there. I just was trying to make the letters work.
D.A.N.C., comma, E.
And then, I took this old white towel that my mom, like a bath towel, and I made a stencil with with like D.A.N.C.E. and those words on it, and I spray painted it in like silver, and we used to put that up as a backdrop. And then I got hired to do my cousin's 13th or 12th birthday.
Shut up.
So we got paid $50. There were 5 of us.
How many songs did you have?
One. It was Aisha, and I don't remember the name of the group. It was a kid group that Belle
I
DeVoe
remember.
had
Yeah,
developed.
no, I remember that.
Aisha,
Yeah, I remember that song. Yeah.
And I did I used to be able to do the worm.
Were you all white?
Oh yeah, we lived in New Hampshire.
Dance.
And so we all wore black MC Hammer pants,
of course,
and we all got the same hoodie but different colors. So mine was orange, and there was like blue and green, and we had patent leather shiny shoes on. And I had choreographed the entire Aisha song, and so we performed that at Rogers Pizza in Dover, New Hampshire for $50. And I did the worm at the end.
$50 is a lot of money back then.
It was $10 a person. Not
what
bad.
Year was this? What year would this have been approximately?
90. I went to high school in 1990. It would have been like 89, 90.
Wow. You know what that is? That's 40 Arizona iced teas in that era. $10. $10 is 4. It used to be a quarter when I was growing up. That's 40 Arizona ice. You could have purchased 40.
I know. So we bought pizza instead. But so that was but I swore I was going to be discovered. And so Maurice Starr was the manager he's the one who discovered New Kids on the Block, and he discovered them in Dorchester.
Did he discover them?
And
Were they put together or discovered? New Kids on the
I
Block?
think they were discovered. I think he had like an audition and they like showed up because, like somebody told him something. Doesn't really matter. All I know is that I hand wrote letters to Maurice Starr
Mm.
asking him to check my girl group out, Dance, Dream and Never Cease Eternity. And never heard back from Maurice Starr. Really, that he was holding an open audition in Boston one year. My mother would not let me go, and it was the
Oh,
most devastating thing to me because we were ready. We had a good routine.
yeah.
We
For
didn't
the one
practice
song.
singing,
Yeah.
but we definitely had that dance routine down. So my
If you
dreams were shattered.
ever find that VHS, man, you gotta
I have it. Somebody has it somewhere. My uncle Bruce was
put
the
out
one
the
who
call.
recorded it, and it's so good. Like, I have to tell you, the dance routine was pretty good.
All right.
Like, it was all the
Of
moves
course,
of the
you would say
day.
that,
It
the
was
one who
like, come
choreographed
on.
it.
I was a good dancer, Liz. I'm not gonna lie. I was a good dancer. I had the Cabbage Patch, I had the Running Man going on, I did the worm at the end of it. I mean, it was good. It was a good dance routine.
Wow.
So,
I don't know what to say. That's really
yeah,
incredible.
that's
It's
okay.
really incredible.
It's okay. Yeah. So, but I never got discovered like your friend did.
Mm.
I
It was
but I
temper. It was very short lived. Oh, this happened to my son. When
What?
my son Teddy was I can show you. When
Now
my
you're
son
really
Teddy
breaking
was
my
a
dreams here.
baby,
Mhm.
we were walking around in Boston. His brother, my kids are only 18 months apart, and his brother had something that day, like with another, maybe his play day or whatever, it was like the full day.
Yeah.
And Teddy was a fucking baby. He was like 16
He was a
months old.
fucking baby.
He was little, 16, 18 months old, something like that.
Mhm.
And a modeling scout walked up to us, gave us a card, and I was like, fuck no. And then I came home that night and I was like, my husband would hate this. I hate the whole idea of it. But he's like, you should
Brian?
just, yeah.
Is that your
My
ex-husband's
ex-husband,
name?
yeah. He's like, you should just call. What the hell? And I was like, all right. He's like, maybe you could pay for his college. I'm like, it won't.
I was going to say, stop making some money, Teddy.
Do you want to see what happened as a result of this?
Absolutely.
I'll be right back. Just wait 1 second.
Okay.
I haven't gotten to tell anybody this in a really long time.
You had this ready? You had this available to you?
Yeah, it's in our basement, like on a shelf.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Is the mouse gone yet?
The smell isn't. So see this toy?
Yeah.
It's called the Triple Track Tower Play School.
Uh-huh.
See this kid on the back of it?
Get out.
That's
Oh
my kid.
my God. Teddy.
I think he made $75.
Oh, that's
Anyway.
it for play school?
Yeah, when we went down to a Gap audition in New York, and we only went to New York because I was visiting. He actually got asked to go to this Gap audition, Gap Baby or Gap Kids or whatever. And my sister lived in Manhattan, so we went down, stayed with her. We went to the Chelsea Piers to go to this audition, and it was just so
Cattle
long.
call.
It was like
Yeah.
and that was like, so he got the play school box literally the week after we met this lady. And so
Crazy.
my ex-husband, who like me had really no interest in like pushing the kids into the limelight, was like, literally though, just do it until, if it's fun, do it. If it's not fun, don't do it. And if it makes money, we'll talk about whether or not it's fun or not.
We'll talk.
Because he's a banker. He was very much like, we could put the money in this 529 or whatever. And
Yep.
So
the only thing that ever happened to me like that was my mother somehow managed to get me on the back cover and center spread of Knitting World.
Nice.
Which I have a copy of. I don't have
it on me. For a lot of people, that is a real get. Just like this play school box, I'm sure would be a real get for a lot of people. But yeah, so
Knitting World.
The Gap audition was miserable. It was just like hundreds and hundreds of kids. And it wasn't fun. All he wanted to do was go to the, because it was right at the Chelsea Pier, so it was right by the golf driving range. And his brother was with us. And so my sister took his brother, who was like, I don't know, 3.5 or 4 or something. No, he was not younger than 4, to the driving range. And because my ex-husband played golf, so like the kids knew how to like swing a little bit of a club. And that's all Teddy wanted to do. He was like, can we go? Can we go? So I was like, let's just like meet so we met, and he just didn't look happy. He didn't have was, I'll just
kids don't understand.
Let me show you one more thing. Well, nor should they. Let me show you one more thing. No. Do you want to see his headshot?
Yes. Oh my God, he had a headshot.
He did. This was his headshot.
Oh, buddy.
He was so
He's
cute.
so cute.
Giant blue eyes, big old
Yeah.
head. Yeah. Anyway, this is just hanging on the wall with all the other. It's just a picture I took. It's not actually. I can't remember if that was. I think that was actually a real photo that somebody took. We
So
didn't have to.
cute.
So this is how we knew it wasn't like super scammy. These things are very scammy, but like
Yeah.
the
Especially
agent,
now.
the agent paid for the photo session, which
Oh, well,
usually like
that's
they
good.
make you do it. Like I
Yeah.
guess that's happened, but like she's like no, she's like at the time like Desperate Housewives was on. And I don't know if you remember Felicity Huffman on Desperate Housewives had these twin boys with these big round heads. And so like the white kid who looked like a tiny little football player was like the look of the moment. This was like 2 years before it became all about like a beautiful rainbow of children. It was still like, let's bring on the whiteys. And so he had the look. He had the Aryan
He
look.
had the look. He had the white look. It's awful.
So that was God. Like, and him having blue eyes, by the way, is a genetic kind of freaky thing because it's like way, way back in my family. His dad has blue eyes, but like I have no blue-eyed relatives. None.
Everyone in my family is blue-eyed except for my grandmother and my cousin Amy. And they're the only ones with brown eyes. Oh. It's very strange to me. Is he traumatized over this, or
doesn't remember
is he
it
just
at all?
Like he doesn't remember it?
Except for this thing's been hanging around our house for 22 years. He doesn't remember it at all.
Funny.
20, yeah.
I remember the Knitting World shoot. I remember it because I was like 5, or I would think I was 5, or maybe 3. I don't know.
You want to know something else about this? So this is Teddy here, right? This kid was not the kid he shot the photo shoot with. It was a different kid.
Oh, they photoshopped him in?
And the kid was miserable.
Poor kids.
And so they literally brought in a different kid and paid another $75 or whatever the fuck it was.
75. I'm blown away by that. It's Play School. That should have paid more.
It wasn't Play School. It's whatever the company was that makes the box for Play School.
Oh, I see.
Right?
Okay.
Anyway, I'm starting my camera, by the way. I just want to tell the audience, I know my camera looks kind of fucked up and cartoony, but I got a new camera and it's awesome. And my computer isn't seeing it right now. So I have to use this little side camera that I use for my Netflix interviews.
I don't think that it looks bad. It's just the lighting is, the lighting's a little bit strange. I can lighten it up a little bit.
I'm a little yellow. I look a little jaundiced. I'm like a Simpsons character.
I love that I was like, hey, are you okay? Do you want to record? And you were like, yeah, I'm fine. You're like, I'm going to look like shit, but I'm fine. And I'm like, really? You're going to look like shit? You look amazing.
You think I didn't put a little makeup on? Because I did.
I know, but
I did.
Still.
I did just like a little bit. I couldn't stand putting anything in my mouth because it's really sore. But anyway, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Dance. All capital.
Dream and never cease eternity.
I'm sure there were no other kid groups in the world with any. By the way, speaking of New Kids on the Block,
yeah,
I love Jonathan Knight so much, and I his show was canceled on HGTV. It's such a fucking bummer.
My best friend Seagrin was obsessed with him.
Oh, my son Teddy is obsessed with him. Like he's just so lovely, or he seems so lovely, and he was the one who had the crippling stage fright. And
he should have never been in that group.
No. His brother is the one
Jordan.
with the, and his brother is like now was on like a Rock the Block with him or whatever. And they seem to have a lovely relationship. But there's a really funny story about Jonathan Knight in New England. That's kind of like, it was written, I don't know if it was the Globe or maybe it was Yankee Magazine did it. So for those who don't know, Jonathan Knight, former New Kids on the Block member, actually has a old house restoration business. Like that is his actual job. And he lives on a giant compound in like an old farmhouse, and he's got all these outbuildings, and he's like a gentleman farmer type, and he loves old houses, and he goes out to the Cape. He finds like the early American like houses from like the 1600s and renovates them. He just does farmhouses, lots of farmhouses in New Hampshire and stuff. And then he goes on tour with New Kids in the summer, and that's when he makes the money, I guess, that sustains his stupid business. Not stupid, but his business that he loves doing. So he got in like, I'm probably going to get the details of this wrong, but I just remember thinking it was incredibly funny. He lives in like an historic town in Massachusetts, and he and the town's historical society were engaged in this like years long battle because he wanted to like move a barn or something. He wanted to like do something with an outbuilding on his property. And they were like, no, because these historical societies in New England are insane. Like in downtown, the tiny town where I live, in downtown, your house has to be white. And if your house isn't white, you have to go to like the planning board to It's like that. Everyone has to have white lights. It's like that.
It's like the HOA on steroids.
It's very white bread, non-fancy,
Yeah.
fancy problem kind of situation. Anyway, so and like their issue with him was very clearly, when you read between the lines, that it's just that he's Jonathan Knight. It's like he doesn't want to do anything weird. He literally just wants to move a barn from like here to here, whatever it is. And they're basically like, well, if we let Jonathan Knight do it, then other people are going to want to make changes that are going to ruin the character of our historic town. And you could just tell it's like they just don't like having this famous person encroach on their historic.
He's such a nice guy, though.
He seems like such a sweetie. Like he really does.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So that was my Jonathan Knight story. We have other things that we're here to talk about, though, right?
We really do. We were supposed to just do a little short episode.
Can we get into the heavy thing last, because the Brian Walshe sentencing last, so we can just get all the other gossip stuff out of the way first?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. What do you have? I'm going to talk about Brian Walshe sentencing. So what do you have for me?
Oh, not much. Just that this evening there are these, like, the content creator warfare continues, and it's just like I don't get it. Like I don't understand.
You're talking about the content creators that are involved, like in the Karen Reed.
Yeah, it's still,
sphere.
but it got like really ramped up last night, weirdly, on Twitter. And there's this whole thing where Aiden admits that he sent this video of somebody to somebody else's Joe Flipperhead video. So when I hear what these things are, I think they sound hilarious because I don't know anything about what they're about. And
it sounds to me like they're all trying to put each other in jail. That's what it sounds like.
Well, now, but what this initially is just like, it's all about getting clout or getting people to go after people on Twitter, essentially, is what it's about. And so he sent this thing, and in the email he sent to, I guess it was Jess Machado. I don't know. Jess Machado, by the way. Don't get me started. Anyway, and that this is beyond the Karen Reed situation. This is just like human being stuff. Anyway, he said in this, whoever I sent the email to was like, can you send this? People, they have their pearls clutching about it or whatever. Now, that's an expression that a lot of people use, and he uses it all the time, and I use it all the time, clutching your pearls. But apparently, I'd never watched Nurse Kim, except I've seen her on Court TV when she's been on at the same time as me, and apparently that's like her expression that she says all the time, like it's part of her theme song or whatever. And so people, I guess, gleaned from that she was the source of this video that he wanted someone else to post anonymously to make this other dude look bad or whatever. And so people piled on her for a really long time, and he didn't do anything to stop that, which is the accusation now against him. And so she basically like snapped. She was supposed to be on his fundraiser thing tonight, and yesterday she posted this thing about him and saying that she felt really hurt and betrayed or whatever. And then he posted this very uncharacteristic of Aidan Carney apology. Some people will say, oh, he just wants something. I'm like, so I just looked at this and I tweeted something about it, and I'm just like, I guess I don't understand what he or anybody else can do to be right with you folks. I understand if you think, like, my husband's best friend Tom is on Twitter, and he tweeted, this guy's been writing bullshit, ruining people's lives for a long time. Fuck him. He deserves whatever. And I'm like, that's fair. But when other people say that and then they're doing exactly the same thing, I'm not saying Nurse Kim is, but they're all trying to like ruin his life. And it's like, I guess I don't understand for any of these people, not just for him, but for other people. What would it take? Like, what do you want to happen? Like, what do you just want to like sit there and like do this with your hands and like twirl your mustache and know that they're miserable? First of all, like, Twitter isn't real life. I'll say it again, but also, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, that you want it's okay to say, I want someone to lose their professional credibility. I want them to stop making money off my pain. I want them to whatever. But this is literally like, I want them to be miserable. And I want to
ruin their lives. I want them to go to jail.
And it's like, I don't get it. I mean, I'll say I happen to know that he did not say the pearl clutch thing because of her. I know that for 100% sure because
he says it all the time.
He does say it all the time. If you look you can just search his Twitter, but also he says it in his videos all the time.
I don't know any of these people except for Aiden, but clutching your pearls is a very pretty common
that being
expression.
Said,
everyone says it.
I guess what he didn't do, which is not great, is he didn't, when he became aware of whatever piling on was going on, didn't clear the air. And I probably thought it would blow over or whatever. But like this kind of stuff, it's getting like it's going places, and it's at the point now where there are dueling events tonight on a streaming. There's a streamer for Karen Reed, which features like JFK
Right.
and James and
The young jerks.
the Young Jerks, and Meredith O'Neill is going on.
Really?
Oh yeah, she's like on the marquee, and it's like, why is Meredith O'Neill on the pro Karen Reed fundraiser to fuck with him, right? And now he has a fundraiser going on tonight. He's been very public about the fact that he just had to write his lawyer this huge check. And it's like Nurse Kim was supposed to be on it. I think Melanie Little might be coming, whatever. And it's like, it's being positioned like if you go to one or watch one or are on one or whatever, you're dead to me. And it's like, no, it is very possible to say, yeah, Karen Reed has this very expensive civil case coming up. We want to help out, and say, Aidan Carney, love him or hate him, but like he should not be facing arrest for witness intimidation when A, no witnesses were intimidated, and B, it's literally just, it's stuff that other people did that weren't arrested, and it's also just an attempt to silence him, which is very obvious. Like, and I think the communications between the DAs and stuff show that it's obvious, but it is very possible to show up on one or the other or both or whatever and not be blackballed forever by some people on Twitter. But that's what's happening right now. It's gossipy. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
I wish the subreddit for Justice for Karen Reed wouldn't take these things so seriously, but there's these like long threads about them on there. And I'm like, this is a non-story story. Of course, we're talking about it, so I guess it's not a non-story story. I'm just more talking about, like, I just don't get it. I don't really get the pain part. If people are piling on me on Twitter, I just like mute all those people. It happens all the time, and I just mute all those people, and I don't see it, and it's really great for my mental health, and I move the fuck on.
It's for clicks. I mean, that's what we talked about. There were two things that I noticed that came out of this. I didn't really go into depth because there weren't. I only recognized a few of the names, like this Flipper person. There are two Australia groups that are pro and anti and all this shit. The one thing that stuck out to me and that I'm bothered by, but I want to verify that it's real. Did you read the part about this Ghetto Mellow
Yeah.
account?
Yeah.
So they're saying that Aiden has been behind that account.
I think that's probably right. I think that's probably right.
He tweeted at Bettero
as this
from that account,
yeah,
and used like racial slurs and shit.
Yeah. I think that's probably right. It is fucked up.
I want to talk to him about that.
All this behavior is fucked up. All of it.
Yeah.
All of it.
The only thing that so I
haven't talked to him about that, by the way. I haven't. That's not something I've ever addressed with him. So, but I've seen enough to believe that it's true. It's probably true.
I would like to ask him about it because I want to understand the rationale. But anyway, the other thing that stuck out to me, and this is a place that I only
Aiden, come on our show so that we can ask you about your ghetto mellow.
I mean, I want to understand
it.
Of
course, well, we're not going to understand it, but it would be nice to have him address it at some point.
Yes,
if he will, but he might not.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, he may or he may not, but I don't think that he has a problem asking or answering hard questions, and that's one of the hard questions I have, because he does make a point of talking about Michael Proctor's text and how racist they are.
Yep.
On his show all the time, and so the two can't live in the same world as far as I see it. But anyway. The other thing that popped out to me, and this is a place I only lasted about 37 seconds here, but in this thread that I saw on Reddit last night that you had sent me, someone was like, "Hey, Lindsay Gaetani is over on Ray from Dallas's feed," and so I went and I clicked on it, and she's like spilling the tea, and I was like, I want to know if she's spilling the tea on Kate Peter. She talked about a lot about Kate Peter.
She did that last time she was on too, yeah.
But last night, so I just popped in really quick, and then I saw that she was talking with Grant. What's his name?
Grant Smith Ellis.
Grant Smith Ellis.
Apparently, he smells so strongly like weed that like the court officers would talk about it in court.
That's the reason why I didn't last. But while I was there for those 37 seconds, what I did catch was Lindsay talking about how Jen McCabe is a hypocrite because she talks so much about, witness intimidation and everybody coming after them. And she had invited Lindsay to her house. And so Lindsay walked in, and within a minute of being there, Jen was showing her this basket of voodoo
Voodoo
dolls
dolls.
she
Yep.
has.
Yep.
And one was for Karen and one was for Aiden.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But
She told that story last time too. And she said it in such a way. She was like, she can fucking sue me for this if she wants, because it is 100% true.
I imagine it is, but it makes Jen McCabe sound crazy.
One of my favorite things that she said, and I've been very critical of Lindsay Gaetani on the show and the readathon and stuff, and like the whole situation is so abominable. But one of the things that she said that was so funny is she was talking about somebody, I can't remember who, and she was like, and she described them as white trash, and then she was like, "Now I'm not going to lie, I got a streak of white trash in me too." And then she just continued on, and I'm just like, oh, that's what we're doing now? We're like using these horrible things, and we're just saying, okay, that's me too. Like it struck me as like weirdly funny. Anyway.
So the white trash thing is really interesting because my partner Lindsay, her family is from West Virginia, my family's from New Hampshire, though my grandfather is also from West Virginia. And we joke all the time because her family are rednecks and my family are white trash.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that you differentiate between the two is that rednecks are basically like good old boy country, probably like, gun-toting, blah, blah,
Confederate
blah.
flag waving.
Confederate flag waving. And white trash is a lot of that, as well as being poor, and usually there's a drug component.
Okay.
So we joke about it because
I'm sorry
I'm white
to laugh,
trash.
but like,
no, it's true. I mean, we
you're
laugh
just
about
making
it
this list so practically.
It is. Like, I'm like, well, what's the difference between redneck and white trash? And the difference is usually drugs. And my family has their addiction, factor. Plus, we were, a little lawless. And her family, they have guns and they do all these things. They're just good old boys. They don't really get in trouble. And they're all like God-fearing, blah, blah, blah. Mine are like, did you ever see that documentary, The Wild, Wonderful Whites of West Virginia?
No.
Holy shit. You haven't?
No.
You have to. Oh my God. You have to watch this series. I'm going to send it to you. It is white trash on steroids. And it's about this family that they're called the Whites, and they're from West Virginia. And the state motto of West Virginia is Wild, Wonderful West Virginia, something like that. So it's called the Wild, Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. And it's centered around this one main guy who was known for his clogging.
I love that.
Like, he's famous.
I love that.
Famous.
I love that.
But he's also like a meth addict now. But he still gets out. He pulls his board out and he like clogs in the middle of the street and shit.
Like Walton Goggins.
These people, first of all, some of them look like my family members. And I'm like, oh God, am I related to these people? Anyway, anybody who hasn't seen it, please go and watch the wonderful, Wild, Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. It's one of the most fascinating documentaries I've ever seen. And it's a complete coke-fueled train wreck.
All right. And we know, by the way, just to the audience, we know that like saying like white trash is a pejorative thing that people use about poor people, and that is not cool. In the context of this conversation, I am quoting somebody, and Mel is just owning her own shit, apparently.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, we make fun of ourselves because I grew up white trash and Lindsay grew up redneck. And
my friend who does something similar, like, says they're from like a poor rural family, and says that the difference for them was the credit score to buy a truck. That's the difference.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the rednecks can somehow get the credit score high enough.
Yep.
They all have trucks, big old truck,
farms, and we
all
just live in trailers.
I just read recently, because I was reading this article about the size of cars, just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and like now, like Chevy, I think, is like they have smaller pickups. They're actually starting to sell really well, and like Toyota Tacoma, apparently the smaller size is now finally like kind of taking over and selling well again. But something like 85% of people who own these trucks have never used the bed for anything, like ever. Yes, I swear to God, I'll find the article. I will send it to you. They never open the tailgate. It's just because the truck is the thing they want to drive. And they never, ever, 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 ever use the truck bed.
I'm a little truck person. I love a Ranger. I love a Tacoma, and like not the 4-door, like 2-door.
You're a lesbian, so you must have loved that Subaru car truck thing. The Baja. Remember that?
Oh my God, no, I hated the Baja and what was the other one?
El Camino.
El Camino. Like
The
I
Baja
hate
was just
them.
an El Camino made by Subaru, is all it was.
I hate them so much. I'm not a big Subaru fan.
I know.
Sorry,
I'm sorry. I
lesbians.
shouldn't have made that stupid hackneyed joke,
No,
but
I saw a New Hampshire license plate yesterday that was on a Subaru that said Lesbaru. And I was like, "Good for you. You guys got it. You got the license plate for that." No, I love a small truck. But these like sometimes I live in Bethesda, okay? So I'm, just a few miles outside of DC. This is like a pretty affluent area. I don't fit in very well most of the time. You would not believe the size trucks I see driving around here.
they're
And
so expensive.
these people do not own construction companies or
No,
anything, and they've never used the beds, and they're driving these, like, souped up Ranger Raptor
like
150
100
whatever.
plus $1,000 trucks. Yeah.
I'm like, "What do you need it for? Like, what do you need that for here?" There's not even you can't even go, like, off-roading anywhere.
Right.
There's a Home Depot, but you're not carrying like, the bed of your truck is clean.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. After years and years and years of driving an SUV because I had it for when I owned a dog walking company, this year I finally got a car, and I haven't
Ooh.
driven a
Is it a
car in a
sedan?
really I don't it's a Kia K5 GT sporty turbo thing, and I love it so much. And it's like wolf gray, and I just love it so much, and I don't miss driving an SUV, but I would buy a two-door Ranger in a heartbeat. I love a
I
truck.
just last year traded my final. I'm a station wagon person, and there are just so
Mhm,
few station wagons, and it's mostly because I throw my dogs in the back and bring them places. But like,
mhm.
I traded in my 2017 station wagon, and I was so sad. And I was like the only people who make station wagons now. There's a $125,000
Dodge.
BMW station wagon.
Yeah.
There's a like Chrysler one or some bullshit.
Mhm.
There's a an Audi, and there's a
Dodge Caravan.
Volvo. And that's it. I'm talking about station wagons, like wagon wagons, like,
Oh, I'm thinking of,
minivans. No, I'm a
minivans,
station
not
wagon person,
wagons.
and there are so few of them.
Subaru makes them.
No, they don't.
Oh, I thought they did.
no,
The
they have a,
Outback.
oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, the Outback actually does count as station. I had an Outback a long time ago, although they
Yeah.
actually rate that as an SUV because it's high off the ground. But yeah, no,
Oh, okay.
I used to have an Outback. It was real slow. I like a fast car. That's my issue. I
I do
like
too.
speed. So I had to go and get a small SUV for the first time ever. And I literally because Kevin drives a bigger SUV. He's a baseball umpire, so he's got like a lot of shit to haul around
I
in the
know,
summer.
I've been in your car.
I know you've been in Kevin's car. Kevin's car is fancy.
Yeah.
My car's fancy too. Don't get me wrong, but Kevin's car
You
feels
love
like,
your car.
I do. Kevin's car feels like you're inside like a,
Spaceship.
yeah. It's like, but it's also real comfortable. It's like
Mhm.
it's like a tomb inside. You close the door and it's
Yep.
like dead quiet. I love that. Anyway, yeah. So I love station wagons, and I really want the wagon to come back. I really want the wagon to
Yeah.
come back. Bring back the
You know
wagon.
what? You know what I want to come back?
What?
Saabs.
Mm.
They're my dream car. I've owned one of them in
I
my
used to sell
life.
those. Yeah.
I loved my Saab. I loved old school Saab 900 turbo from like early 90s was the perfect car as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
And actually my Saab saved my life. Um and it was it was the second 5-speed I owned, and I love to drive a manual.
So do I. My son
I
has a
love it.
manual transmission station wagon, and it is the
Yep.
coolest fucking car. And I love driving it around. And I'm so jealous, although my car is much nicer and I don't actually want his car. But I'm so jealous that there are no more uh, stick shift cars. There's very few, unless you want like a little sports car. Very
Yeah.
few of those available.
My little Saab, I bought it for $900. And I babied it, and I was driving. Do you know the bridge that connects Portsmouth and
Yes. And
Dover?
Kittery. Oh,
No,
yeah.
Portsmouth and
I know the
Dover.
one. Yes. Yes.
The over the water. I was driving my Saab, and it's a 2-lane, so, opposing traffic, and I look up and I see this guy barreling at me in my lane. So he's going the wrong direction at me, going like 80 miles an hour over the bridge. And the only thing I could do was like throw my Saab into fifth and step on it, and I managed to swerve around him at the last minute. He was trying to commit suicide, and
Oh,
he eventually crashed into another car and, like,
damn.
went through the railing and shit, and my sob saved me.
Huh.
So
Did you feel cool because your key was down here instead of up
oh,
here?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I
That
used to
was way
sell them.
before we even
I sold Saabs and used BMWs and European. I worked at a European car dealership for like a very short period of time. I was a terrible car salesperson. I was way too transparent with the
I
people.
can't even imagine you as a car
I was
salesman.
so
When they
transparent. I'd be like, "So, you want this? My sales manager wants this. I want to sell the car. How can we just all be cool right
yeah,
now?"
work
And
together
my
here.
sales manager was like, "You're not supposed to do that. You're not." And I was just like, "I'm like, I just want them to walk out and feel good." And he's like,
Yeah.
"No, they're supposed to
I
feel good
couldn't be a
about the
car
fact that
salesman.
they." And I'm like, "Oh God, I couldn't do it. The lying, couldn't do it. I'm a
Yeah.
terrible liar."
When they used to ship Saabs over, when they were actually made, in what is it, Norway? Sweden?
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember.
Sweden,
When
I
they were
think.
when they were shipped over, they would take the catalytic converter would be in the trunk. Like, they would just put it in the trunk to be installed in the United States because they didn't use, I guess, the catalytic converter or it wasn't legal over there, but we had to have it here. So, anyway, yeah, and I was like, "I am the coolest person because my ignition is in between the 2 front
That's right.
seats." So,
Right. Right.
anyway. Okay, we've gone really off the rails talking about all this stuff.
Brian
The only
Walsh was sentenced.
This is so awful. Brian Walsh was sentenced. It happened yesterday. It was supposed to have happened on Wednesday. They postponed it. I think they were waiting because um, Anna Walsh's sister came in and did a victim impact statement. She was the only person who came in and sat in the box and gave an impact statement. I know how you feel about victim impact statements. They also received, these were not on record and they are going to be sealed, but they also received victim impact statements from the kids,
I heard that. Yeah.
from DCF, which is tough. And the judge, went through everything. Anna Walsh's sister was lovely. She had a lot of really beautiful things to say about Anna, and she was very respectful of the court. One of the things that I loved, Judge Frenier, we talked about her a lot. She is
You did.
yeah, that's true. I did because I have a big crush on her. And I have an even bigger crush on her now because of how she handled this. But she, has been very like she's not very stern. She doesn't have a lot of emotion in her rulings and things like that. She makes some jokes every once in a while. She just ran the courtroom really well. She also understands case law really well, and she did her research on this case, and she knew this case sometimes I feel like better than the lawyers did. Well, at the sentencing, we got to see a little bit more of her heart. Although she didn't put a lot of emotion into it, she chose her words so carefully that you understood her sentiment. One of the things that she did when Anna's sister was, sitting in the witness stand giving her statement, she stood up. I don't know if all judges do this, but I found this profound, like, respect for Judge Fournier because she stood up on her bench, faced the witness, and just stood next to her, almost like she was supporting her,
Hmm.
for the entire statement, which I found just really interesting.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it was a beautiful moment, I thought. So I went ahead and pulled the video and then I made a transcript out of the video because I wanna make sure I get their words right. Basically, the Commonwealth is asking for as much as she would give. Um, they were specifically, and this is the important part, they were specifically asking for, consecutive and as opposed to concurrent
Concurrent. Yeah.
sentences for the two things that he pled guilty to already. And that's a harsher sentence because I think that what they want to basically solidify is if Brian Walsh goes to ask for an appeal and they have to do a new trial based on that appeal for the murder conviction, that the evidence that would be thrown out in that case would be all the Google searches because of the way that they were obtained by the Massachusetts State Police. So if by chance he has to go and have another trial and is found either the trial, it's either dismissed or there's a hung jury or the trial, anything happens where he's found not guilty a second time, they want to make sure that he actually spends some jail time.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
so,
They
so
they
they're
want to
asking
ensure his
for,
incarceration. Yeah.
yeah. So they're asking for consecutive as opposed to concurrent. So consecutive would mean that these charges, the sentencing would come after the life without parole sentence, which she's required, I guess, based on the facts of the case to I'm very hesitant to say mandated because that's what the judge said in the Pamela Smart case, that he was mandated to sentence her to life without parole, and based on what I've discovered in researching the case, he actually wasn't mandated, so that sentence should have never happened. I mean, it could have happened, he could have used his discretion, but he chose to say it was mandated. In this case, Judge Fournier makes a point to say it is within her discretion to, um to deal with the smaller charges, but she doesn't really have a choice on the life without parole, that is what it is, because it's murder 1 instead of murder 2. So, I feel like the Commonwealth did really well in their sentencing memorandum. I didn't get to read it, but they basically made their points to the judge in open court to put it on the record, and they basically, the argument one of the things I found interesting is we haven't seen a lot of emotion in this trial. Not from the judge, not from the Commonwealth, not from the defense, not from Brian Walsh. And Brian Walsh, out of everyone in the courtroom yesterday, literally showed not an ounce of emotion. And I don't mean like he looked sad, he looked scared. He didn't show anger. His face never moved. His defense attorneys were showing more emotion and were more depressed than he was. And again, I think there's got to be a mental health issue here. Like he is coming off as, I think what we decided was a psychopath. He he has no emotion about this. He very rarely blinks. He doesn't nod his head. He doesn't shake his head. He doesn't do anything. He literally sits like a stone with no facial expression. The Commonwealth, when the attorney got up to make the case for what they're asking for sentencing, his voice even cracked. He was talking about Anna and her children, and one of the things that her sister said in her victim impact statement was that they haven't been able to, in accordance with their own customs, lay Anna to rest because there's no death certificate, and their church won't allow them to have a ceremony and lay someone to rest without a death certificate. So one of the things the Commonwealth is trying to do is it's based on this ruling, based on this verdict from the jury. They're trying to get the medical examiner to actually give them a death certificate so that she can be laid to rest. Um, so they made the argument, they asked for the most, and the defense got up and said, he's still a human being. And we think that this is cruel and unusual punishment to sentence him to all this, which the judge was like, it's not. It's not. She was very cut and dry. Um, so I actually want to read, oops, sorry. I actually want to read Judge Fournier's words because I find it really interesting. We've seen a lot of judges. If you think about the judge in the gymnastics case, what was his name? What
Larry
was
Nassar.
Larry Nassar case? She was so emotional, right? And you think about even the judge in like the Alec Murdaugh case. I felt like Fournier was more in line with him, even though he was pretty emotional, I thought. This is, at the end of the day, she's got to make decisions about somebody's life and the punishment they're about to have. And I would expect a judge to be emotional, but she found a way to let her emotion come through the very careful words that she chose. So,
Mm.
um, I'm just gonna read it if you can bear with me for a minute because I
Sure.
think it's just very important. She said, "There's no task facing a judge that is more important or more difficult than crafting an appropriate sentence. The legislature mandates that the only appropriate sentence for the jury's verdict of murder in the first degree is life in prison without the possibility of parole. That sentence is immensely appropriate, and just given your murderous acts and the life trauma that you've inflicted upon your own children as to counts 2 and 3. I have wide discretion in sentencing. I want to state my rationale for your sentences on those 2 counts on the record now. I have considered various factors with regard to my sentence. For counts 2 and counts 3, to which you pled guilty on November 18th. Specifically, I've considered the severity of the crimes, their nature and circumstances, and your role in those crimes. The need to deter others from from committing these crimes, these comparable crimes, and your prior criminal record. This was what I found really interesting, namely your federal fraud case. As to the latter, your criminal history shows a long and well-documented history of deceitful and manipulative behavior, and I considered your character or lack thereof. Your behavior and your background with regard to the nature and circumstances of offenses as to indictment 002 in the approximately 4 hours of interviews spanning 4 days, you concocted a detailed, completely fabricated story of what happened to Anna Walshe on January 1st, 2023 in order to cover up your murder of her and the disposal of her body. Your lies triggered a multi-day, extensive missing persons investigation. A command center was set up in Cohasset. It was manned by various law enforcement to include the Cohasset Police Department, the Massachusetts State Police, and local Massachusetts resources were deployed to Washington, D.C. to investigate at Anna's home because of your lies. Thousands of hours of investigative resources were wasted and diverted from other deserving cases and investigations. As to the nature and circumstances of Count 3, the improper disposal of Anna Walsh's body, the seriousness of your acts cannot be overstated. Your acts in dismembering your wife's body and disposing of her remains in multiple area dumpsters can only be described as barbaric and incomprehensible. You had no regard for the lifelong mental harm that your criminal acts inflicted on your then 2, 4, and 6-year-old sons, not only in taking their mother, but also, as is specific to this charge, and never being able to properly grieve the loss to say goodbye to their mom. And I hear today the same is equally true of a sister who was never able to say a proper goodbye to her sister. Um, I have considered as to the indictments 2 and 3, I've considered the sentencing guidelines and the aggravating factors. There are no mitigating factors in this case. The defense had argued that there were mitigating factors. And I also sought out and considered information from the Massachusetts Sentencing Commission again, which I shared with the parties earlier this week. In particular, sentencing is in 2022 and 2023 of defendants who were convicted of murder or voluntary manslaughter, along with a Chapter 268, Section 13B conviction. This is not a guideline case. Finally, as to the first-degree murder conviction, I have considered the loss of life of an innocent, remarkable woman, Anna Walshe, and its devastating impact on her children as relayed to me in the letter from DCF. Her family has relayed to me in her sister's victim impact statement today, friends and their family impact statements to the community, in the trial testimony of Jem Mutlu and Alyssa Kirby. A little bit of Anna Walshe, her warm, powerful, and embracing spirit, came to life in this historic courtroom. I have carefully listened to the moving victim impact statement, to the oral written statements, sentencing arguments made by the Commonwealth and by Mr. Walshe. It's clear to me that Anna was a bright light in the lives of many people. She lifted people up. I'm sure that nothing I say and no sentence I can impose, even a life sentence, will lessen the grief that Anna Walsh's family, her mother, sister, 3 boys, extended like family, confidants, friends, and others have endured and will continue to endure. Although I consider the letter, this is interesting. Although I consider the letter of Diana Walshe, I simply cannot reconcile the person Diana Walshe describes in her letter with the person who stands before me for sentence. Mr. Walshe, you can stand. And then she says, Mr. Walshe, you live with the guilt and burden of Anna Walsh's death for the rest of your life. As to count 1, the jury having convicted you of murder in the first degree, I sentence you to life in prison without the possibility of parole. As to indictment 2, lying to the police in connection with the investigation of a life felony, I sentence you to no less than 19 years, no more than 20 years. The statutory maximum in prison to be served consecutive to the life sentence. And the legislature caps the maximum sentence for the improper disposal of body at 3 years in state prison. As to 2 indictment 0033, the improper disposal of the body of your wife, Anna Walshe, I sentence you to no less than 2 years, 364 days, and no more than 3 years in state prison to run consecutive. So basically, the Commonwealth asked for the max. They gave her, guidelines as far as, like 19 to 24 or 19 to 20 years. She gave him 19 years. And then for the disposal of the body, apparently in Massachusetts, no less, you only can go up to 3 years. She went 2 years and 364 days and no more than 3 years.
Yeah.
So she went to the maximum. The one thing that she brought up that is an issue right
2
now.
years and 64 days. I mean, she's basically, it's 3. That's a very interesting take where it's like, it's
2
not
years
going to
and
be 1 to 3 years.
364 days.
Yeah. It's either going to be 1 day less than 3 years or 3 years. Yeah.
Consecutive. The one issue is that the federal charges for the art fraud, he is still listed in the Massachusetts system as 5 years of probation. He's actually supposed to be serving 37 months in a federal prison for that. So what she's trying to determine right now is if that's going to have to be concurrent, because right now it just says he's still on probation, but he
Right.
actually has a sentence of 37 months. She's trying to figure out if that's going to be concurrent or consecutive. So that's got to be determined. And then the other question is, does he go immediately to federal prison and serve out 37 months and then go to regular prison? Or how it, so those are some questions that weren't really answered today, I think will be answered. But the thing I wanted to say is I am no fan of the Commonwealth, and especially the Massachusetts State Police and Michael Morrissey, who has never actually tried a case a day in his life. He's completely just a politician, in this role. The guy who wish I could remember his name. Sucks that I can't remember his name right now. The
Tipton?
lead pros No, the
Oh,
lead
that was
prosecutor
his lawyer. Yeah.
for
Yeah.
Morrissey's office was stellar. He should have tried the Karen Reed case, and because he would have been much better than
He
Hank Brennan and
refused to.
Lally,
He
but he
refused to.
refused to, and that should tell you everything you need to know because this guy is a moral compass for that office, and he handled this this trial and this everything to do with this really well. His partner, Anne, she was really great too, but she was really annoying to me.
Mm.
Like, we didn't really talk much about the closing arguments, and there's not much to say because they did what they did in the opening, except for the defense really just was like, "We showed you that it was a shitty investigation. We showed you that she could have died by natural causes," and that's really all they had. The prosecution, she did a great job in closing arguments, laying out the entire timeline as they saw it and the investigation that went along with it and the moments when he lied about very specific things. But she was speaking to the jury like it was like a kindergarten class that she was doing story time with, and it was really grating. I think if I had been sitting on that jury, I would have been really fucking annoyed, but I would have heard what she had to say. And then speaking of the jurors, there were a couple of jurors who went on record about their thoughts about, like the decision-making process. And the one juror that I heard who wanted to who wanted to be, her identity to be kept anonymous, she said that, not guilty was never on the table. They never considered it. They were only considering between murder 1 and murder 2 and what premeditation meant to them. And they never bought the defense's theory of the case from the get-go, from the opening statements that Anna Walsh died of natural, accidental, sudden causes.
Mm.
They always believed that Brian killed her, and they always believed that he disposed of her body, and they always believed that he tried to cover it up. They were only trying to differentiate between murder 1 and murder 2. There were some people on the jury who thought murder 2, but eventually they got to premeditation.
Right.
So, thoughts?
It all seems like it went the way it was supposed to go. I was so certain the jury would do murder 1. I mean, I just think it's very hard. I mean, I do believe it could be true that Brian Walshe did not plan to kill her before killing her, right?
Right. Yeah.
That being said, I could imagine being a juror and think, does that even matter in this case? Given the preponderance of lies and covering up and whatever he did with her body afterwards, does it matter that he planned it or not? And if the one comes with a statutorial heavier penalty, I could see. I can't say that I wouldn't say the same, even though I am so letter of the law. I can't say that that I wouldn't say the same. I honestly can't. This is just such a weird and emotional case, and it sounds like the judge handled it very thoughtfully. I love when they give all their explanations for stuff.
Me too.
Yeah. I hate it when they give explanations for stuff and the person probably didn't do it and their explanations are bad.
Yeah.
But
I found that, so the one of the only sentencings I've ever actually in person sat through was Veronica Rodriguez's sentencing. Veronica, I covered in a 7-episode series
Listen
on
to
the
it. Don't
In-Between.
spoil it here. Make people go listen to. Go to the In
Yeah.
Between podcast and listen to the Veronica Rodriguez series. It's
Yeah,
fascinating.
please do. That case meant a lot to me, and I was, really invested in it, but I did sit through her sentencing, and that's one of those cases where I won't get into the details, but the judge made some comments in the sentencing that didn't align with what I saw, um, for, what Veronica did or did not do,
Right.
and he did some blaming, that
Yeah.
he didn't really have a right to do in that sentencing. I was really pissed off by that sentencing.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so sentencing is always really interesting to me because it's the only time you get to see the judge's emotions usually. Um, and I thought Fournier showed her emotion through her words and her research and her thoughtful response to both sides and even her thoughtful response to Brian Walsh. She didn't call him a monster, but she basically was like, you did this and now you have to pay for it. And there's no disputing that you did it,
Hmm.
you know. So I do think, however, they do have a strong appeal.
Oh,
Um,
100%. Well, they're going to appeal anyway. That's almost like automatic. I mean, it's automatic in a death penalty case, and in a murder one. I mean, I I can't think of the last time I've heard of a murder one conviction that I've covered where that hasn't been appealed. I honestly can't think of it. I'm sure it happens, but I can't think of it. I can't
well,
think
I
of one.
think that the only decision that I actually don't agree with necessarily, that Judge Fournier made, and I'm not a lawyer, so I can't, I don't really have a huge strong opinion about it, but she did allow those Google searches to come
Yeah,
in,
that I
and
think that's
they
questionable.
didn't have
Yeah,
a warrant for it. They did not have a warrant for it. Here's the thing: they established this at trial that there was first a verbal agreement that Brian would give them his devices, right? And he said, "But I need to check with my lawyer because there are attorney-client privileged communications on these devices, and you guys aren't allowed to go through that because I have a pending case." His lawyer got involved, and in writing, she said, "You are only allowed to look at these dates, and you are only allowed to look at these communications." It is in writing, and it was responded to. The Massachusetts State Police did a full entire download of his
of
phone.
course they did. Of course they did. Well, yeah, of course they did.
Guarino.
Of course he did. Just like he did with Jen McCabe's phone and then lied about it on the stand.
So all
Nikki
I can s
G.
I'm not saying that Brian Walsh isn't guilty, and I'm not saying but they
The
took those
process was not great. Yeah, yeah.
and they used those Google searches, and they twisted them in some cases, and the dates were off, and they would pull out it was almost like they did a command F and said murder, and every Google search that came up with murder showed that he had, done something. So I do believe that he did this crime. I don't know what the level of premeditation was. I do know that he disposed of her body. I still don't understand why we don't know where her body is. Like, why don't we know where her body is?
Because he did a good job hiding it.
The prosecution actually did say that he put her body in some of those buckets, so we were right about that.
You were right
Um,
about that. I didn't even know about the buckets.
where is she? Like, I know that we can't recover her body, but where is she? Like, how did this happen?
He
So
put some heavy in the buckets along with the body parts and threw them in the ocean. That's what he did.
maybe.
Or a
So
pond.
anyway, I do think that this is they have a strong appeal, but I'm heartened. I think that he would probably be convicted even if there was a new trial again.
Yeah.
But if he's not, he's still going to serve 30, 40 years.
Hmm.
No, 37 months. I don't know if it's going to be concurrent or consecutive, and then he's going to serve 19 years plus 3.
Right.
So
So it's at least
that's
25, 26 years.
yeah.
Wow.
And I don't know what's happening with the kids. But anyway, that's what I have on Brian Walsh, it was a sad day. Um, and it was, I'm sure very sad for Anna's family, but it sounds like so Diana Walsh wrote 2 letters, one for the federal case and one for this case in support of her son. And from what I've heard, I haven't read the letters, but the letter she wrote for the federal case was, I guess it was all about her. I don't know.
Hmm.
I didn't read it.
Hmm.
But it sounds to me like she was trying to say that her son was a good man and a good father, and the judge was like, he's not.
He didn't
Sorry.
demonstrate that in any way. So before we wrap, can I just shout out a couple of listeners with their comments?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So first of all, I just want to say Melissa says she's having coffee this morning with the two of us. You're going to get to have
I love that.
maybe coffee later with the two of us too, Melissa.
I'm just drinking.
I love this one. Hi, Mel and Rebecca. I made the comment about watching your phone and want to make it clear that it wasn't a criticism. I just wanted to point out that it's distracting, especially when Mel was telling her very personal story. There's also a very good chance I wasn't looking at my phone, but looking down because I really wanted to listen to the story. But that's not an excuse. Anyway, I just want to say that's what it could have happened, but I probably was looking at my phone. I love your videos. Deeply admire both of you and believe your voice is very important in this space. Please keep rocking it. Emoji, and then I'm too blind to see what the last emoji is. Next one. This is from Super Planner Girl. Super Planner Girl, I need you in my life. I don't know what it does, but I gave you my hype points. Can't wait to watch throughout the day today.
Thanks for the hype.
Honey says, listen to this one. As a blonde who's going gray, it's not that pretty. So I asked my hairstylist to give me a lived-in blonde look, and grays come in. As the grays come in, it looks like highlights, less maintenance. But then somebody says, Laura says, Mel, you have inspired me to keep my natural hair in hopes that my salt and pepper will be as cool as yours. You are the anti-Kardashian, and that is high praise in my book. Somebody says, I don't care. I don't think it matters who killed John O'Keefe for the purpose of KR's civil suit. As I understand it, JOK could have been hit by a snowplow and people in the house could have still conspired to frame her for a crime. Someone wants to thank people who gifted us. Wow, Erica and others who gifted. I agree. Thank you,
Amazing.
Deborah. And hello, girls. I usually peek into your channel to stay up to date, says Christina. Christina, keep peeking. We love that. And finally, Amy says, I'm trying to embrace the grays. For me, they are white at least. I hate it near my crown and sides. It's just so expensive to dye so much. I agree with that. I only go get my hair. I get my hair done like very infrequently. I don't go as often as I made it sound like I go because it is fucking expensive. All right.
I don't even go. I don't go to the salon. I do it at home. I just do it at home because I'm like, I
can't. My hair is too thick. I always fuck it up.
I haven't done it in a while.
Yeah.
I haven't done it in a while. I don't have a lot of hair, so I also shave my head by myself usually. But if I want like a fade, then I go to my stylist. Yeah. But you know what I'm getting? Oh, you know what? Speaking of this kind of stuff, guess what I am going to be doing in the next hour?
What?
I've never done this before.
What?
I got an early Christmas present from
Did you get a vampire facial?
It's something. No. I got electrolysis.
Oh, sweet.
I'm so excited because you remember how I have I'm menopause,
hairs,
so I have these like crazy ass
I
chin
keep
hairs.
tweezers in my car because you can always see them in the mirror.
So do I.
Car. Yeah. That's the best place to pluck
I keep
them
in my car. I have I put on my readers and the magnifying mirror and the light.
And I told you that I have the home electrolysis thing, and it worked. It's just it's worked really well for me, but you do have to use it like 100 times for it to work. So
yeah. So I have 6 sessions, and I have my first one today. And never had this done before. I cannot tell you how excited I am.
Yeah, just FYI, it does feel like rubber band snapping on your skin a little bit, but
I don't care. I can deal with it.
It's going to change your life. You know what it changed my life was my bikini area. Changed my life. I used to always wear like a bathing suit with like a skirt because partially because I do have a pooch, but also
you have a giant bush.
I am Italian, so I had to shave or wax, and waxing fucking hurts, and it does, and shaving does not work on my hair because you can see the hairs right through the skin, right? Because they're dark. So I use my home laser thing on that and on my armpits. And I use it on my legs too, and just really thin that out.
What?
It's freeing and life changing to
I'm
not
so
be
excited.
Thinking about
it's something I've wanted.
Oh, I also did my mustache. I used to have
I've been wanting it for years.
Yeah, I tell you.
When did we
talked about it in Danvers. We talked about it in Danvers. I don't know if you remember. That's when we talked about
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Danvers. When did we go from having giant big natural bush like our moms had giant big natural bush to like shaving it all off or having like a landing strip or whatever?
I don't know. It's like a weird sexualized porn culture thing. That being said, bathing suits and underwear are not built for bushes. They're just not. Unless you look like you got,
if you're a lesbian, because lesbians usually wear more
boy shorts.
Masculine. Yeah, we wear boy shorts.
Oh, yeah. Kevin got me. We're going on vacation in January somewhere, French. We're going to St. Martin, which we've never been
We're
to before.
going to somewhere
We're going to the French side. It is French. We're going to the French side. My friend who speaks French and everything goes there. She fucking loves it. She told us we had to go. We got an incredible deal. We're going. And she said, if you wear a one-piece bathing suit, you will feel like you were wearing a nun's habit on the beach. Like,
oh yeah.
So Kevin got for himself a little bathing suit. I'm so excited about it. It's not like a peanut smuggler. No, it's like a very short. It's like a boy short style, but shorter. Like
I will need pictures.
He looks so cute in it. Honestly,
I will need
he
pictures.
Does. Honestly, he has
the
a butt.
Cutest.
Yeah.
I know that you love straight bears, and Kevin is definitely like a little straight bear.
And well, he's got like the midsection of a bear. He's got like that.
He's so cute
situation. He is incredibly cute.
Tell him that.
So I'm
you
so
said
excited.
that.
And even I got 2-piece, except it's got a high waist.
Yeah,
and so it's not. It's just It's like a one piece with a strip bear in the middle is basically what it is.
The only reason why I can't wear a 2-piece bathing suit when I go to the beach or any place like that is because when I go to the beach, I'm not one of those people that likes to, like, I can't stand to lie still at the beach.
I love
like
it.
Lindsay goes and she lies in the sun and she does. When I go to the beach, I'm like, bring the soccer ball, bring a baseball,
of course, you're
bring
so
a
sporty.
frisbee.
Not me. I'm like, give me a book and leave me the fuck alone.
I'm the one with like the kids on my shoulders in the waves. Like I can't function in a 2-piece anything.
I love lying on the beach. I don't like sunning, and I never sun. Oh, did I tell you? I told you about our spray tan situation, right?
No.
We got spray tans the other night to try it out to see if we should do it before we go to St. Martin. We haven't done this we did it like more than 15 years ago. We were going on vacation with our friends who always do it, and they told us to, and we did. And then that was when Kevin proposed to me, was on that vacation.
Aww.
And then I did it again before my wedding, and I went a little too dark because I was feeling aggressive about it. And I had to take 20 fucking showers in 24 hours to get it to look normal.
Is it actual spray, or do you use the
spray?
powder?
It's spray. So you go into this booth and it's all automated, and it's like, hold your hands like this, do this. It's probably horrible for you, but it feels virtuous. Yeah, it's like being in a car wash where it's like zzz, they give you a little sticker to put in the bottom of your feet. So anyway, we did that last week to sort of see, like, do we want to do this for our vacation? We haven't been looking forward to a trip. Kevin and I have been on a bajillion trips together, either for work or we go with friends or our kids.
Right.
We have been on one other vacation that was just the two of us in 15 plus years. And so this is our second one. And I am and also we planned it kind of last minute. It was sort of like a few weeks ago, we were invited to meet somebody in like Las Vegas for a thing. They're like, you guys should come and hang out for a couple of days. And I was like, I really don't want to do that right now. I just don't feel like Vegas, you got to be up for it kind of thing. We don't have like a concert to go to.
I'm not a big Vegas fan.
I like it, but I like it especially if there's a thing at the center of it, like a show or something. And we didn't have that. And I was like, but if we are considering that, would you consider going on a different kind of trip with me? And Kevin was like, yeah. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
And so we each pitched each other 3 options, and all of his were domestic because they were only going for like 6 days. And he said, this is like a getaway. So he was like, New Orleans, whatever. And I was like, St. Martin, motherfucker. And he was like, all right, that's what we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
His most exotic one was Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, God.
Which is really fun, but it's not going to be super warm in January in Fort Lauderdale.
My sister-in-law lives in Fort Lauderdale, but yeah, we are the same. So we are either traveling for work or we're traveling with the kids. Like the last big trip we did with the kids was Paris a couple of years ago. But Lindsay and I did New Zealand for the Women's World Cup by ourselves.
So fun.
It was awful.
Oh,
we had the worst time.
I'm sorry.
I'll tell you about it sometime.
That's a story for a different day.
Yeah, we're going to Edinburgh for our anniversary in May, and I cannot wait.
I'm looking forward to that for you. All right. Anyway. Should we wrap this now?
All right.
We said we were going to talk for a few minutes. We're addicted to talking.
To be a short one.
We're addicted to talking to each other. Don't edit it a lot. Just put it up raw dog.
I feel like for the most part,
raw dog it.
I have to edit it. Well, I can't because the sync goes off in our video, so I have to monitor it all the way through.
Can I ask you a question? What if you went backwards? What if you did it at the end, made a cut somewhere?
I tried it.
It doesn't work. Oh,
doesn't matter. Anytime you make a cut, the whole thing goes off.
All right. Well, anyway, I just want to let people know if there's ever sync issues, it's the platform we use. We're looking at using a different platform to try to resolve that. So
for sure.
Anyway, thanks, Mel.
All right, I appreciate you. Thanks. Please take care of your mouth and
find that video of dance, please.
Oh, and I'm also going to come back next time with my knitting world centerfold.
I want that, and I also want your falling off the swing and losing your shirt story. Okay, bye.
Oh, yeah. Okay, bye.
Bye, Mel. Thanks so much.
Bye.